All right, everyone. Sorry, I was a little late. I had some little technical difficulties, but anyways, happy Monday. It's we have a day and a half, little less than a day and a half left of 2024, and you know, I didn't see Paige and Craig splitting right before the new year, but we're going to discuss it. And we also are going to dive into a little bit of some Southern hospitality news, as well as Andy and his annoyance with Anderson Cooper when they host the New Year's Eve show. We're going to get into all of that and just a little bit more on today's Giorgio Says podcast show. So let's go ahead and jump right into the intro.
We need to talk about this. Every rumor, every twist on the Giorgio Says podcast. We need to talk about. So hit that play, stay in the know. Giorgio's here to steal the show on the Giorgio Says podcast. We need to talk about this.
All right. I hope everyone is doing amazing. I am so ready for the year to be over. I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I'm ready for 2025, baby. I'm ready for 2025, so bring it on. Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit of that, like that Dorit energy right now, with everything that's going on. Meanwhile, don't even get me started on this 2 week of no new episodes. It's like, really, you can't give us any new episodes at all? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing over here without Dorinda? No, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you guys are following me on Instagram and TikTok, yeah, I had a little moment. Forgot what was going on for a second. What am I supposed to do with myself? No, in all fairness, it is the last 2 weeks of the year. I get it. Just gets me a little amped up for the new episodes that will return next week. But we also have some new shows coming back, and I'm really excited. We have Atlanta coming back. We have The Valley coming back. And yeah, I think we have a few good ones coming back, but it's a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. However, I will say it's been nice to kind of like watch other things. Like what did we just watch? I think we started to watch Good Deed on Netflix. That's the one with Lisa Kudrow or whatnot. But yeah, so just taking the time, but I am definitely ready to get into the new year and get some things going and shaking and whatnot. So, but anyways, we are going to discuss the Paige and Craig of it all. Yes, we are. But first, I want to dive into a couple of other tidbits. One that I thought was really funny was today, Page Six posted an article about Andy Cohen basically discussing the challenges around co-hosting the New Year's Eve event with Anderson Cooper. And as we know, I personally think they're a great pair to host because they kind of balance each other out. But it seems that Andy Cohen's point was the most challenging part or aspect rather of co-hosting with Anderson is, I guess, by the last 90 minutes of it, Anderson feels like they both swap places. So it's almost like Andy's like Mr. CNN and Anderson's like Mr. Bravo, and he's just, got the giggles. And if you've ever watched those two together, you know that by midpoint, Anderson Cooper does start getting the giggles because he's getting a little litty city, if you will. And you know, I think it's hilarious because I mean they do balance each other. And there was that one, wasn't it that one year where Andy was on a rant because he had too much to drink? So I mean, I think it maps itself out. But nonetheless, they're gonna obviously be co-hosting again this year. So that will be airing on CNN tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we obviously did not have a new episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. So there's that. But I was really kind of looking into a little bit more of what is remaining of this season. And I kind of spoke to a few of my, little birdies in the area because I live in the DMV, so it is kind of convenient. I'm not gonna lie, but what I was told I think it was Friday, or no, I don't remember which show it was last week that I discussed the reunion for Potomac is coming up in like a couple of weeks. And a lot of you guys in the chat were asking or asking me if Karen was going to be giving any more information around this whole entire thing. And so what I was told after that was that the answer was pretty much no. And the reason for that is because they are, I guess, her and her legal team just want to be extra cautious not to, you know, say anything or maybe, yeah, basically say something that could maybe influence the sentencing, which is going to happen on the 29th. And the reunion, I more than likely believe, is happening, a couple weeks before that. So I think she's just going to play it safe. At this point, look, I've never been in a situation like that, but like I can understand from the angle of being on television and the way things have lined up, so to speak. I wouldn't expect her to go into all the details around all of it until it's completely wrapped up and she's able to discuss it the way she wants to discuss it. Kind of like with Shannon on Orange County, right? Because that had already finished. She settled that whole situation. So by the time cameras picked up, she could talk about it. Karen's was not. And it's still not. But more than likely, they will pick cameras back up as quickly. I do believe that this source is giving me good info on that because it makes sense that they would want to start filming for the next season to pick up on, I guess, picking up the storyline where they couldn't get it this season that's airing currently because, I even said that going into this season of Potomac that it was a waste. I think that relying solely on Karen's situation is just lazy because if you put two and two together, you would have known as cast members, there's not much that you're going to be able to pull out of that. And she's not dumb. She's not going to just spill all this information and put herself in a worse predicament than she already is in. No. So I think, next season will be telling, right? Because if they do, in fact, pick up cameras, right after reunion time, so they can pick up on that storyline, then perhaps next season we will get to have more discovery and understanding and context around what actually happened that night. But until then, I think it is what it is, right? I think we know the verdict and now we just await sentencing. But I am interested in moving through this current season. I think for me, I'm very turned off that Mia's storyline is kind of taking, center stage, if you will. It just feels, and I've gone down that rabbit hole many a times during my recaps of the show. But new episodes will start airing back on January 5th. So we will see how that goes. I am ready for the season to be over with, though. What else? Yes, we need to jump over because we need to talk also about Maddi and Joe Bradley from Southern Hospitality. They are officially confirmed a couple. So love to see love in the air, specifically because, these two had a solid friendship. And there's nothing more than that I like than a friendship that also is than something that turns romantic. So these two are definitely in a romantic relationship. They were initially clearly keeping this private before the season 3 premiere, but obviously this was outed during a Watch What Happens live episode. So, good for them. Who doesn't love love, right? But I just wanted to give you guys a little update. There's not much going on. I know. I'm not going to keep you guys here very long. I know we're going to get to Paige and Craig. We're going to get there. I just want to get my other little Bravo thoughts out of my head. I do want to tell you guys about this funny thing that I did see. I don't know if it was Kim D's podcast or it was a collaboration between Teresa's podcast and Kim D's podcast. Nonetheless, basically it was Kim D, Teresa, Dolores, and then Jennifer Aiden joined a little bit later because apparently she got pulled over on the way there. But nonetheless, there was this point where Kim D brings up this article about, I guess, Kristen Chenoweth, like, saying something about Teresa, but also she's a fan of the show. Like Kristen Chenoweth, like shout out to her. She is a true fan because she's commented on my Jersey recaps multiple times. But the issue was the article that came out and like kind of, I guess, quoted her from, saying these things. I think she said that Teresa was dangerous or scary and dangerous or something to that context. But she was referring to something that was going on, I think it was 2 seasons ago at this point, or maybe, it was. So it wasn't anything new. It was something that was said a while back. But it was funny because Teresa came to the conclusion, well, first off, she was like, I don't even know who that is. Like, who is this? And so they had to like start figuring out, oh yeah, she's probably a Housewives fan. Obviously, she's commenting on it publicly, but Kim D basically was like, she's very well known, specifically, in Broadway world, but she's obviously a well-known actress and has done so much. She's obviously a part of Wicked. And so they go down that rabbit hole. And but Teresa was like, so basically they're using me to promote Wicked, because the point was the relevance to why that came out was like they were speculating that perhaps it was coming out because they were trying to draw up press for the Wicked movie. I'm not buying that. I don't know why that article came out when it did, because I don't believe Kristen said anything as of late. But nonetheless, it was hilarious that Teresa really thought it was like as if I don't know. It's as if she really does think, and it's crazy because I think the people around her really do keep her in a bubble where they make her feel like, yes, they're coming after you for clout, and her not knowing who who I think a lot of, she is well known. I don't think this is like some like super niche person or personality, rather. It's like this is a full-blown actor. She's known for Wicked, yes, on Broadway, but also she's crossed over to television and movies. And so I like, for me, yes, I do believe perhaps Teresa doesn't know who she is, but I don't think she realizes that it sounds very delusional to think that that's what the angle was. Like, I don't think, Chenoweth was like, let's grab a soundbite from something I said about Teresa and like try to get some press for the movie, guys, that I'm only like a small appearance in as like an homage to the role that I played. It's just, it's to me, I was cackling because it's just, she was serious. It was dead serious. Anyways, I thought you guys would find that funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Okay, the moment. This is sad to me, you guys. Like, I get it, but this is sad, right? Let's get into it. Paige and Craig. announced their split after 3 years. I really liked them together. I'm not gonna lie. This was shocking. I know there was rumors that there may have been like the relationship might have been on the outs, but then I don't remember what interview Craig did, but he basically just denied it, like, which shocker, they all kind of do that. But it is a shocker because it's just like what a time to release that news or come to that you know what I mean? It just sucks to break up right on the right before the New Year's, you know? But Paige and Craig basically decided, mutually that this was the best decision and it was amicable. There was no drama involved, and that they had different future goals, which, I mean, to be fair, they do not live in the same location. So I think it's one or the other has to feel like they're giving up something. And if they both don't really feel like they're able to do that for whatever reason, then that is challenging for the growth of a relationship. And they're both on, TV shows, and it's a lot. And so there's just like, I get it, but then it's just like it's sad at the same time because I think Paige is awesome, and I think they both kind of, to me, I think they balanced each other out. I've seen some comments with people being like, now, Craig can find his real Southern queen and whatnot. And I mean, perhaps, but I do think that they were a good balance, and I really liked them together. I think genuinely, I think they both were great. And clearly they still care and love each other, but I do get it. It's, when you're an adult and you're spending 3 years together at certain points, like, well, what are we doing here? And if you're still trying to figure out who's going to move where, it's going to, yeah, I could see that. But maybe it's just a break, maybe it's just some time to like go away, realign. Maybe they'll get back together. I don't know. Let me, you never know. I'm just saying. But Summer House is premiering in February, which is right around the corner because January is right around the corner. But yeah, this is craziness. Also, they have, yes, Lori brings up a very good point. They both have so much business in the cities that they live in. So yeah, it's crazy for one or the other to say like, okay, now I have to possibly give up these things in order. I mean, that's just not fair to ask of either one, in my opinion, right? It's complicated. For sure. And like I feel like this is a situation where it was having to be adults about it. You know what I mean? Like I think this was probably a tough decision, but I think they're being honest about this. Like I don't really say that a lot about these like breakup statements because sometimes there are issues and they don't want to come out and say what the real issue is. But I do believe in this case, based on what we've seen with them, it is mainly probably based on the fact that they've got too much going on separately and within their respective locations to just pick up and move to either one place. But I do feel like they're in a position where they could, but I guess that gets old too. If you have to travel back and forth so much and you're already traveling for other things and you're doing stuff, like it gets a lot. So I get it. But, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that because no one likes to be, I mean, maybe some people do. I don't want to say everyone doesn't want to be single around New Year's because I just feel like the timing of it sucks. Like to break up around a holiday or your birthday or New Year's Eve. So Logan Alexander says, wonder if her crying in the trailer will lend some clues about the status of their relationship at the time. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We'll see. We'll have to watch and see how it plays out. Maybe you never know. They are both successful, so I hope things continue to go. I believe it will. I think the way that they're handling this as of now is very good for both sides. Like I don't think anyone's going to get any flack. I think everyone can, now kind of move on and see how it goes, but I'm assuming that this was, also based on the fact that they do have businesses and there's things going on. And so I think it is a lot to do with that, which leads me to think that perhaps maybe there is room for them to come back together down the road. You never know. You really don't. We've seen it happen before in reality TV specifically. So, oh my gosh, my nose is itching. And I think that means people are talking about me. Just Kelly, hello. It sounds like the relationship ran its course. Not all relationships are meant to go the distance. I agree with this very much because that does happen. Like sometimes you meet someone and it is only good for that 3 years. But it's not that was not worth your time necessarily. It's just that's all you could get out of it, and that's okay. It's just nice to see that, that they hopefully can remain amicable and friendly because that's tough for anybody that's in a relationship. So, and I agree with this comment from Logan as well. Craig and Paige are arguably two of the most genuine, authentic, and likable people in the Bravo universe. I every time Paige is on my FYP or I see her on Instagram, even when she's doing an ad, I don't feel like I'm watching like an ad. You know what I mean? Like when she's doing a sponsored post, like I feel like she's so authentic, and that's part of the reason why she does so well on reality television. But, that's why I think they'll be okay in terms of like, no one's going to be coming at them on either side. And I think that, this will probably help them probably build more into their businesses, because if you're not, putting any energy into trying to keep a relationship going, then you have more time to put into more of your business or start other businesses or continue to grow. And I think that is that's beneficial for anybody, not just for like a Paige and Craig, but I think anybody that can be in a position to, be honest and say, okay, this was amazing. I love you. I care about you as a human being. It's not going to go anywhere else from here. And that's okay. So now you can take that energy and go, make more out of that time and energy. Lori says it means you're going to have a fight or kiss a fool when your nose itches. Really? Well, that's not, well, hopefully, who am I going to get in a fight with? No one in my home. Better not be. Am I in a fight with someone? Not usually, but I don't know. Who knows? I don't care. I don't care. Oh, yeah. So, I wish them the best. And I think everyone's going to be just fine. But really quickly, I do want to let you guys know I did see a preview of the new Beverly Hills episode that will air next week. But I'm telling you, Dorit is not playing any games, you guys. This season, it's insanity, like not in a bad way. I love it. I think it's so real. I think this is the realest that I've seen Dorit ever since she's been on the show, except Yeah, I mean, I liked her when she first came on for, she was like she fit the mark for that. And then she kind of fell into like reading into like, in my opinion, fans and trying to stay in line with that. And then she kind of played it safe. But this season, it's almost like I do not care. I'm gonna go for it any which way. If I hear something I don't like, I'm gonna say something about it. If you piss me off, I'm gonna she just I mean, I'm still thinking about the way she came at Camille. And I love Camille, but she walked into that one. I'll say that. But it seems that the preview that we're seeing is that intense moment where Kyle and her at this like I think it's a club. Is it a drag club that they're at, perhaps? At any rate, it's where like they're both screaming at each other and like, they make this big moment in the trailer, like as if like they're gonna, you know. It's just funny to me when Beverly Hills has these intense moments and it's not like I don't think Kyle and Dorit are gonna throw hands. You know what I mean? Like I think they're just well, Dorit's had it. Like she's clearly sick of the BS. And I'm gonna say this. This whole Kyle texting PK stuff and not telling Dorit, even if she's not speaking to her all that much, that to me is that I would absolutely have an issue with like I don't care. Like that's just like if you intend on staying my friend at some point or you think that we're just going to be able to work this out all the while you're texting PK without and you're not even telling Dorit. So and you wonder why she's mad and then you gaslight her with what's the problem? Well, the problem would be is that flip that around. Flip that around. Let's say last year when Kyle was going through all her stuff, and let's say that, for whatever reason, Dorit wasn't really vibing with Kyle, but she was texting Mauricio and didn't tell Kyle that that's what she was doing. I think Kyle would absolutely lose her mind on Dorit. Absolutely. I don't care. Thank you, Danny Gossip Girl. Make sure to hit that like button. I know. I'm still learning to shout myself out there. Thank you so much. Yes, please hit that like button. It does help these shows and my channel. But yeah, I am excited for the mess that's coming though. I'm excited for Atlanta cuz I feel like we're going to get the trailer for that soon and I'm really really excited for the Valley. I think I said that last week on one of my shows, but like I am ready for the Valley. I cannot wait for some new stuff. And, we have some good shows that are playing out right now, but a few of them are going to be coming to an end soon as well. Like, as I mentioned, like Potomac, obviously that's going to be coming to an end soon, but not too soon because I think we have about 7 or 8 more episodes, which is crazy to me. But yeah, and then Salt Lake will probably be ending shortly because the I think their final trip is coming up. No, they're still on it. I'm trying to remember. Did they leave PV already in Salt Lake? No, they haven't because we were waiting for this episode, which by the way is like I saw a TikTok where someone's trying to figure out who Meredith is screaming that at in the little sprinter van that they're on. Where she's like, "Are you recording us? You need to leave." They're trying like someone was trying to figure out based on the edits and the angles and where someone was sitting to see like exactly who exactly she was talking to. So that'll be interesting. But I also saw Monica, she made, I don't know if it was a Instagram story or it was a reel, but she was commenting on the fact that she was saying that Angie K is the villain bully this season and that seems to be okay and whatnot. And she was making a reference to like, why am I so bad when like there's clearly like this type of behavior going on. And I listen, do I think Monica is great for television? I've always said yes, right? I don't understand why we're still digging into this. Like, I wish she would kind of just go and because I believe she could get she could be on a lot of shows. Like, I do. But I think she keeps attaching herself to that season. And I think instead of just moving on and letting it kind of flow, because I think down the road, like in my mind, when Jen Shaw gets out of prison, I feel like things are really going to shift with the cast. And I think it might be a good time to revisit bringing Monica back for that. You know, I would definitely watch that because I think we'd get a lot of tea about what really went down. Plus, I'm sure Jen will come back with a whole bunch of who knows what. She's probably got a little list in there of people and what she would say, you know, whatever. But nonetheless, I just feel like, you know, Monica is good for TV. She clearly has enough of a platform. She's, you know, still seen and whatnot. So I think she can I think she should just move on from this Salt Lake experience. Like it is what it is. We understand what it was. But you know, I don't know. We'll have to see, you guys. I think Angie's fantastic. I don't think she's being a bully. I don't think that at all. If she's referencing like the whole like Britney situation, which by the way, did you guys I'm not posting it. I'm not posting multiple announcements of Britney announcing her relationship to Jared Osman. And I think they have some other and she's teasing a bunch of things, you guys, and he is playing along. She redid the original video she put out announcing their relationship where they like kiss. And she does another one and she just changes her outfit there. I think they're in a different location. And it's she clearly loves the attention no matter what, right? And so I personally think she's hilarious. I think she's great on the show. I think we need more of her next season. Don't change a thing about this cast. I think it's excellent right now, so don't touch it. But yeah, so I don't know what the deal is. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens if she does come back next season. If she does and she gets more, let's say they do give her a snowflake. I would wonder what this let's see how this relationship unfolds based on what happens with her and this show. Like for me, I'm thinking about it like, okay, Brittany, if you don't let's just say I want her to come back, but let's just say that they don't ask her back, Brittany, right? Is he going to stay with her? He's a flaky dude. I'm just saying. Like for me, he's very opportunistic. And I do believe he is one of those guys that really wants everyone to know he's an Osmond and that he's got his own little flair, baby. So I don't know. If she does come back, though, I think he'll be like very much excited. I think, you know, in the beginning of this season, I will say he did try to play it off like he was doing her a favor, but I don't believe that now. I wholeheartedly believe that he was like absolutely excited about the chance of being on this show or a TV show in general so that he could get more notoriety. Like, that's my 2 cents. Yes, not paid by anyone says Kyle broke the girl code for real. Yeah, like I don't even know. To me, that's horrible. Lori says I used to watch the Donnie and Marie Osmond show. Listen, I first of all, my mom used to always watch that. And I think someone else I know is like obsessed in my friend group with um Donnie and Marie Osmond, like obsessed. Like, and when she started doing what was the commercials Marie Osmond was doing for was it Nutrisystem? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Lord, I didn't mean it like that. I'm old actually, so I slightly do remember watching it with her. Um, what was it Nutrisystem? Yes, it was. Okay, so, like, I remember my friend would be obsessively, like I think they even, like, signed up for Nutrisystem because she was, like, representing it, but it was like was it do you guys remember or was it me? I remember, like, every time she did a new one, it was as if, like I just remember her hair got bigger and bigger, and she seemed to get smaller and smaller, and, like, she's already a petite thing, so it just, like, was always hilarious to me because she was, like, oh like, she's just she's a national treasure. Obviously, they both are. I just find that Jared's very opportunistic, and he's definitely, to me, hopefully, uh, waiting to see if perhaps this announcement of them being official will garner interest from producers to perhaps give her, a snowflake. I mean, I would be okay with that. Yes, exactly, Logan. Just like Johnny J. They always anytime someone it I don't want to say it blanket statement, so I'll say more often than not, when people are all about, "Oh, I don't want to be out in the public eye. I don't want everyone in my business. I don't like everyone in my business. I don't want everyone knowing what I'm doing. I don't want everyone knowing who I am." It's just like they're always doing stuff that garners them the opposite effect. You know what I mean? Like with Johnny J. It was as if like he always was the one that was like, "No, I don't wanna be a part of this," and Shannon went out of her way to protect him and not get him in the mix too much. And then now he's doing like he's done Entertainment Tonight interviews. He's like shown up on the show and like just all that stuff. And Jared's just another one of those players in the game who is just looking for some type of way to be relevant, boost their ego, give them something to feel good about when they go to sleep at night, get them all tingly inside. I do feel though, if Brittany comes back next season, I do want to unpack a little bit more about her situation with her daughters because it seems like there is something there, and obviously they're not going to go into all of that because she's just a friend of. But I would like to understand that dynamic and what happened there because, she's really coming off like man hungry, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It just feels like all her focus is on dating and it's not really around like explaining like what happened in her second marriage that led to like, why her kids don't want to talk to her and why, it was a big deal that her daughter came and spent the night. Like that, yeah. Call me nosy, but you said it. So I want more information, okay? I don't know, you guys. Well, hopefully you guys have some plans. I'm not a fan of going out on New Year's Eve, I'm a fan of like staying out of the streets. Plus, it's a crazy time and I don't know. I'm definitely not going to do that. I would never. And even when we lived in New York, we never did the like Times Square thing because that's just like chaos. Like it's just chaos unless you know someone that lives you know, in a building that, you can see it. I mean, that would be the only way. But we'll be staying in. We'll probably be ordering a bunch of different food and probably watching the Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper CNN New Year's Eve special like we do, I feel like every year because I feel like it's a staple. Um What else? Ooh, uh, if you guys have been following the whole Dior bags in the sky situation with Bethany Frankel, she has been keeping us abreast. on everything. I am literally like all up to speed. Everyone on Instagram that if you know, you know, we've been chatting around because a lot of you guys are like telling me whenever you see them, and some of you have even sent me some like photos of what you've seen. So that's been fascinating. But it's been an interesting time. And Bethany's, you know, one thing Bethany's going to do, she's going to talk about it. And I do appreciate her. Uh, you know what? I have to say, I was scrolling this morning when I woke up, and I think it was like his second or third TikTok. It was this guy who was, sorry guys, my nose is itching. Like, seriously, what's going on? No, I saw this guy who was probably the most rugged, masculine, like definitely like not someone that would know anything about a Dior or a Prada or any, not even none of that. Okay. Like picture the guy on the brawny like paper towel packaging or whatever. That's what this guy looked like, except he had a baseball cap on. And he was talking about the Dior bags in the sky. Like he was totally like in line with the code word. And I was just laughing hysterically because it's just funny to me that like this has now become such a thing. Like, I don't know if Bethany realized that she like, I mean, she does now, but like, it's just funny that that's the word, that's the code word that was used. And the way that is, the way she's explaining it is very much in line. I mean, it's perfect. She can use other terms that relate to that and give us the information on what the drone situation is. Anyways, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, don't even worry about it. It seems to really be more on the TikTok side, this whole situation, because more people are talking and sharing and have been sharing about this. So that's why. Because every time I've gone on Instagram and I'll post something, like some people get it, but it's like, I feel like it's like two different worlds. Like on TikTok, it's like, there's like all this stuff going on, and then I'll come back over to Instagram, and like even if I make a reference to it, I notice that like it's just like a different world. They're two separate worlds, which is hilarious because it feels like there's two things happening in the world, and like only, anyways. All right, guys, that's all I've got. I don't want to rant. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. As I mentioned, I am going to be doing lives Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are around, please join me. If you're not, you can always watch afterwards, and that's always available on my channel, obviously. And yeah, hopefully when we get through this, what seems to be like purgatory, we'll have some new episodes come out, and we'll have some more things to discuss. Hopefully more happier things. No more breakups, please. Bravo world. I think we have enough on our hands. But anyways, I hope you guys, whatever you guys are deciding to do for New Year's, I hope you have an amazing time. Spend it with people you enjoy and love. Stay safe, stay aware. And yeah, just here's to a new year, guys, because it's gonna be, I have a feeling 2025 is gonna be a good one. All right. Anyways, I love you all. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.
We need to talk about this. Every rumor, every twist on the Giudice says podcast. We need to talk about. So hit that play, stay in the know. Giorgio's here to steal the show on the